every single night, across parking lots, Walmart side roads, and quiet suburban streets, hundreds of thousands of Americans are solving a problem that most of the country does not even know exists. They are sleeping in their cars in freezing temperatures, and most of them are warmer than you think. Not because they found a shelter, not because they are running their engine all night and burning in they cannot afford. Instead, they figured out a method that costs less than $5, that anyone can do, and that the rest of us were simply never told about. Tonight, you are going to learn exactly what they know. By the end of this video, you will look at a sleeping bag, a roll of foil, and a Nalgene water bottle in a way you never have before. Picture a man named Bob Wells. It is 1995. He has just come through a divorce that wiped him out financially, and he has $1,400 to his name, a son to support part-time, and a choice: pay rent on an apartment he cannot afford or move into the box van sitting in his driveway. He chooses the van. On the first truly cold night, somewhere outside Prescott, Arizona, with the desert temperature dropping below freezing, Bob does not run the engine, does not call a motel, and does not panic. He crawls into a sleeping bag rated to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, pulls a reflective foil barrier across his windows, fills a Nalgene bottle with hot water from a gas station coffee machine, tucks it down by his feet, and goes to sleep. Comfortable, safe, warm. Cost for the night was roughly nothing. Meanwhile, the nearest budget motel on that same highway was charging $68 before taxes. Bob has been sleeping in vehicles ever since. His YouTube channel, Cheap RV Living, now has over 500,000 subscribers. He co-founded a nonprofit that converts vehicles for people on the edge of homelessness, and the knowledge he accumulated, born out of genuine necessity, has spread to thousands of people who needed it most. So here is the question that should be keeping you awake. If this knowledge works so reliably, why is it still treated like a secret? Before we go further, drop a comment right now and tell me this. Have you ever been in a situation where a motel felt financially out of reach, where one night's accommodation felt like it would break you? Because what you are about to discover is going to change how you see warmth, shelter, and the price we are told we have to pay for survival. The comments are already coming in on this one. Let us know your story. Here is where most people get this catastrophically wrong, and it starts with the obvious solution that is not actually a solution at all. Run the engine, it feels logical. The car's heater works, you're warm within minutes, but here is what that decision actually costs you. According to the US Department of Energy, an idling 4-cylinder engine consumes roughly 0.16 to 0.2 gallons of fuel per hour. Run it for 8 hours of full night's sleep, and you have burned between 1.3 and 1.6 gallons. At $3.50 a gallon, that adds up to $4.50 to $5.60 a night in fuel alone. That is not the real problem. The real problem is what it does to your car. Extended idling causes carbon deposits to build up inside the engine, degrades your oil faster than normal driving, stresses the battery by running accessories on a system designed for movement rather than static load, and according to the Department of Energy, causes more cumulative damage per hour than regular driving. Here is the part that should genuinely disturb you. In July 2023, 3 active-duty United States Marines died of carbon monoxide poisoning while sleeping in a parked Lexus sedan at a gas station in North Carolina, with the engine running for warmth. 3 young men, trained for survival in some of the most hostile conditions on Earth, were killed not by combat, but by a parked car with its engine idling. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, and it can build to lethal concentration inside a vehicle's small interior in ways that even a cracked window cannot reliably prevent. And yet, this is the default strategy most people reach for because it is what they know. That is the gap. That is the exact gap this video exists to close. Here's where it gets worse before it gets better. The alternative people find when they start looking online is the viral terracotta pot heater. You've seen it. Two clay pots nested together, a handful of tea light candles underneath, the whole contraption sitting on a plate. It circulates through social media every winter like clockwork, shared by well-meaning people as a budget heating miracle. And it is almost completely useless. A single tea light candle produces approximately 75 to 100 BTU of heat per hour. A small electric space heater produces 5,000 BTU. Even with 5 candles burning together, you are generating a fraction of 1% of what you actually need to raise the temperature of an enclosed space. Van Tramp, a van-dwelling couple who documented the method on their blog, ran the test. They placed 5 candles in a roughly 500 cubic feet van overnight and measured a temperature rise of 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The problem was their van's own insulation. Just the metal walls and the windows closed on a still night produced nearly the same result without any candles at all. The heat was coming from their own bodies, not the flames. Fox 5 Atlanta reported on the viral trend specifically to warn viewers of the fire risk. Tea light aluminum cups can melt and leak burning wax, and terracotta pots can crack explosively from thermal shock in cold conditions. The candle heater is not just ineffective. It is a fire hazard dressed up as folk wisdom. You were sold a solution that was never a solution. That is not your fault. You were told the wrong thing. Now, let's talk about what actually works. And this is the part of the script I want you to pay close attention to, because every single method here comes from people who live this reality every night, verified and refined across years of firsthand experience in the communities at Our Urban Car Living, Our Van Wellers, Bob Wells' Cheap RV Living Forums, and documented cold weather survival research. This is not theory. This is practice that keeps people alive. The first layer of understanding is this: your biggest enemy in a cold car is not the absence of a heater. It is the presence of heat loss. Your body generates approximately 80 watts of heat continuously, enough to warm a small enclosed space if and only if that space is properly sealed and insulated. A bare car interior destroys that advantage in minutes. Glass is an almost perfect conductor of heat. Metal doors bleed warmth faster than you can generate it. The single most impactful intervention a car dweller can make costs $20 to $25 and requires no technical skill at all. It is Reflectix window insulation, a double-layer foil bubble product sold at every Home Depot and Lowe's in a 24-inch by 25-foot roll. You cut it to fit each window, slightly oversized so it pressure fits into the frame. That's it. No adhesive, no tools. You press it in place and it stays. What it does is remarkable. Radiant heat from your body hits that reflective barrier and bounces back into the cabin instead of passing through the glass into the cold air outside. Experienced car dwellers report interior temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit warmer with Reflectix covers alone compared to uncovered windows on the same night. Think of it this way: your car without window covers is a greenhouse running in reverse, designed by accident to lose every British thermal unit your body generates. Reflectix makes it a thermos. Same body heat, radically different outcome. Here is where it gets remarkable. The second layer is the sleeping bag, and this is where the math becomes almost offensive in its simplicity. A 0-degree rated sleeping bag costs between $30 and $70. The rating means it was tested to keep an average adult comfortable in conditions reaching 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The Coleman North Rim 0 degrees Fahrenheit, reviewed extensively by outdoor and car-dwelling communities, retails for roughly $40. The Teton Sports Celsius Extra Extra Large 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which accommodates larger body sizes up to 360 pounds, runs $80 to $100. Now consider this. The interior of a closed Reflectix-covered car runs about 10 to 20 degrees warmer than the outside air temperature because of natural heat retention and body warmth. In a city like Denver, Where winter overnight lows average around 18 degrees Fahrenheit, the interior of a properly sealed car hovers around 28 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. A 0-degree sleeping bag at 35 degrees Fahrenheit is not just adequate, it is genuinely warm. Car dwellers across hundreds of documented forum posts describe sleeping comfortably, not merely surviving, but actually sleeping well, in conditions well below 20 degrees Fahrenheit with this combination. Nightly operating cost after purchase is $0, not $5. Zero. Add a sleeping bag liner, a thin inner sack made of fleece or silk that slides inside the main bag, and you gain another 10 to 15 degrees of rated warmth for $15 to $40. Add a closed cell foam sleeping pad between your body and the vehicle seat or floor, which eliminates conductive cold loss from contact with metal for $20 to $40. You have now built a sleeping system that backpackers use to survive nights above 14,000 feet in the Rocky Mountains, assembled in a car at zero nightly operating cost for a one-time investment of $75 to $150. Compare that to a budget motel at $60 to $90 a night, and the math requires no commentary. Here's the part that should make you angry. The knowledge gap is not accidental. Bob Wells began documenting these methods on cheaprvliving.com in 2005 after he drove past a parking lot and saw a woman and 3 children sleeping in a car. He stopped, talked to them, and discovered they had no idea, none, that a $40 sleeping bag could change everything about their situation. They were suffering through cold nights in a way that was entirely, completely unnecessary. That was 2005. HUD's 2024 Annual Homelessness Assessment Report recorded 771,480 people experiencing homelessness on a single night in January of that year, the highest number ever documented, an 18% increase from the previous year. Of those, roughly 274,000 were unsheltered. Researchers estimate that between 20 and 50% of unsheltered individuals live in vehicles. Conservatively, that is 55,000 to 137,000 people on any given night sleeping in their cars. In Los Angeles County alone, 39 to 44% of all unsheltered homeless individuals live in vehicles. Oakland, Seattle, Phoenix, city after city, this is the invisible population inside America's homelessness crisis, and 2,520 Americans died from hypothermia in 2023, a 35% increase from a decade earlier. People are dying cold in a country where a $40 sleeping bag exists, not because the solution is expensive, because the information never reached them. Now here's the final piece that experienced car dwellers add for the hardest nights: the hot water bottle. This sounds almost too simple to be real, and yet it is the most consistently praised method in the entire vehicle dwelling community. Fill a Nalgene bottle, or any wide-mouth, leak-proof bottle rated for hot liquids, with near boiling water from a gas station coffee machine or a Starbucks, which will typically provide hot water for free or for $1. Wrap it in a wool sock or a fleece cover. Slide it to the foot of your sleeping bag 10 minutes before you climb in. That bottle will radiate gentle, consistent heat for 6 to 8 hours. It preheats the dead air space at the bottom of the bag, the spot where cold tends to pool around your feet and disrupt sleep first, and maintains its warmth long past the point when your own body heat has fully pressurized the bag's insulation. Cost per night, roughly $0 to $1, backed by physics, proven by thousands of nights in parking lots, resta-stops, and Walmart lots from Flagstaff to Fargo. If you are finding this genuinely valuable, and I believe you are, now is a good moment to hit that like button. This is the kind of content that takes research, not guesswork, and your support is what makes more of it possible. So why did we stop teaching this? Why is none of this in a pamphlet at a homeless shelter? Why is none of this the first thing a social worker hands to someone who just lost their housing? The answer follows a pattern that repeats itself everywhere you look once you know how to see it. Speed, cost, and a new technology that seemed to make the old knowledge unnecessary. The moment car ownership became widespread in post-war America, the 1950s and the 1960s, the assumption calcified that a car was temporary transport between permanent addresses, not a shelter. The infrastructure of housing support was built entirely around that assumption. Shelters, motels, transitional housing programs, all designed for people without vehicles. When vehicular homelessness began rising, and it has been rising, with Seattle's King County recording a 2,858% increase in vehicle dwellers over a 20-year window, the system had no language for it, no category, no protocol. Laws criminalizing vehicle dwelling increased 213% between 2006 and 2019, according to the National Homelessness Law Center, across 187 surveyed cities. Rather than treating a car as a form of shelter that could be supported and improved, cities treated it as an obstacle to be removed. The knowledge of how to survive the cold in a vehicle was therefore never systematized, never taught, never distributed. It lived only in online communities that the people who needed it most had no reliable internet access to reach. That is the hidden cost, not in dollars, in lives. So here is exactly what you do or what you share with someone who needs it. If you want the easiest possible starting point, spend $40 on a Coleman North Rim 0 degrees Fahrenheit sleeping bag. You can find it at Walmart, Target, or Amazon. That single purchase eliminates the most dangerous aspect of cold car sleeping immediately. Get one roll of Reflectix from any hardware store for $20. Cut it to fit your windows and press it in place. That combination of $40 bag and a $20 roll of foil is the foundation of a system that has kept people warm through genuine winter conditions in real American cities. Start there. If you are ready to go further, add a sleeping bag liner for $15 to $25, a closed cell foam sleeping pad for $20, and a Nalgene bottle you probably already own. Fill it with hot water from any gas station every evening. That is the complete system. Assembled for under $100 total. Nightly operating cost, $0. One more thing worth understanding, because this is where a lot of people stumble. Dressing correctly inside the bag matters almost as much as the bag itself. Cotton is your enemy in the cold. It absorbs moisture from your body, sweat, condensed breath, anything, and then holds that moisture against your skin, dropping your effective warmth dramatically. Wool or synthetic base layers are what the car-dwelling community consistently recommends. A wool long-sleeve shirt and wool leggings from a thrift store cost $5 to $15 and transform how a sleeping bag performs. The insulation in the bag works by trapping the air your body warms. If your base layer is pulling heat away from your skin with moisture, you are fighting the bag instead of working with it. This is the detail most people miss. It sounds small. It makes an enormous difference at 2 a.m. when the temperature outside drops 10 degrees and you cannot figure out why you are cold despite doing everything else right. And if you want to add a small layer of redundancy for the absolute hardest nights, temperatures below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, situations where the sleeping bag system alone is not enough. A pair of Hot Hands chemical hand warmers costs approximately 50 to 60 cents. 2 pairs give you 20 hours of localized heat and add $1 to your nightly budget. That is your $5 ceiling. $1 for a hot water refill, $1 in hand warmers. Everything else is already paid for. And if you want to identify the people who most need this information, here is the minimum viable test. Anyone sleeping in a car without window insulation is losing the majority of the warmth their own body is generating every single night for no reason other than not knowing what $20 of hardware store foil can do. Bob Wells is not a survival guru. He is not a wilderness expert. He is a man who was forced, by the collapse of his personal finances, to figure out how to live in a vehicle with almost nothing, and who then spent 30 years making sure that other people could benefit from what he learned. The knowledge was never lost. It was simply never handed to the people who needed it most. The secret to surviving cold in a car is not expensive equipment. It is understanding that your body is already a furnace, that all you have to do is stop letting the car throw that heat away. We dig up the survival knowledge that the system forgot to distribute, the practical, tested, real-world methods that are sitting in Reddit threads and YouTube channels and forum posts while people shiver through nights they do not have to. If that matters to you, subscribe and tell us in the comments what topic you want us to investigate next. And if you know someone who is sleeping in their car this winter, share this video. That share might be the most useful thing that video has ever done.